Welcome to the June 26th meeting of the Ypsilanti Police Advisory Commission. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and we will have Lori take roll.
Okay, Commissioner Humes,
Present.
Commissioner McCormick,
Present.
Commissioner Mohammed,
Present.
Commissioner Monroe. I see on raised hand is on Zoom. Commissioner Perry. Sorry, I'm trying to put his hand back down. Commissioner Perry's absent. Commissioner Wolkoff is absent and also sent in for excused. We have quorum.
We've got on pages 2 and 3, or I'm sorry, we're approving this week's agenda, which is just page 1. We've got a little bit around some public comment that we received through our YPAC listserv and an update from YPD and a couple other through the agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as written for Thursday, June 26, 2025.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, agenda is approved. And so on pages 2 and 3, we have the minutes from the May 22nd YPAC meeting. So after you've had a chance to take a look, we can make a motion to approve those minutes.
I move we approve the minutes from May 22nd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, public comment. Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Come on up.
You have 3 minutes and the timer's right here.
Thank you. Jeremy Haley, it's Township. I went to the peacenik thing that was at Parkridge Park. It was nice, but the only thing that me and other people are noticing is the engagement between the police that were there and people. It looked like they were more patrolling than engaging. So I suggest that if you're going to do it again, make some events that the officers can do with the people, like a dunk tank, beanbag toss, something that engages the officer with people and kids. Some, tug of war, stuff like that. And I know, going to the WCC meetings, they have had issues with recruitment for the academy and stuff in there. And they were wondering things. And I know a lot of police have. And what I'm about to talk about is kind of gets people upset. It's Black Lives Matter. When it came on the scene, it's demoralizing to people, so especially police officers. Because when I was just here, pull up the website, it says it's still defund police. Okay, that's a problem. You have that on your street. You're trying to recruit officers coming in, and they're going to come in thinking, hey, already demoralized, is this community going to support me? Because this is on their homepage, people. You can't deny that. I just showed it to you. I have nothing against Black Lives Matter. They do matter. But it's dividing people. And it's creating officer recruitment problems. It's creating other problems. It's in the schools. So what are they teaching in schools about Black Lives Matter, but when the kid gets out on the phone, they pull up the website, it says. It's still defund the police, are they teaching, it's defund the police in the schools? Or are they teaching the schools and they come up and see the things that come up, dichotomy? The kids don't know what to do. It's confusing. You know what I mean? I'm trying to help you out here. I have nothing against it. I love Ipsy. I was born and raised here. Moved away, moved back, go like stay. You know, I'm just trying to help. I see these things. And I was like, nobody's talking about them. If you wanna help, you have to talk about them no matter what. Not because I'm white, he's black, we're all people here living in the same community trying to make it better. And I see this, all right? I just let you know. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Love to have you keep coming and attending some of these.
I will if I can.
Yeah, for sure.
And sharing your observations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we've talked a decent amount here about the recruitment efforts of YPD and how different ways that this body and the community in general can help support YPD in its recruitment efforts. So I think that at least here, and I think in large parts of the Ypsilanti community, there's a real belief in the value of and need for a strong community focused law enforcement body. So yeah, thanks for speaking. Do we have anyone on Zoom before I go into the comment we got in the portal?
Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to speak?
So I'm gonna just read the two sort of back-to-back notes that we got from a gentleman named John Hall, who lives in the city of Ypsilanti. So this was on Wednesday, June 18th, in the morning. So the first one was, because of the recent tragedy, I believe it would be a good idea to publish in the newspaper, online, and whatever visual means, photos of our departments, various types of uniforms, including attached equipment, plus photos of the vehicle types used by the department. And then John Hall followed up a little bit later on that same morning. Also, plainclothes officers, detectives, if in doubt, call 911. Don't even open the door or tell them you'll meet them at the police station. Commissioner McCormick actually pointed this out because I had like no idea what this gentleman was referring to, but this was right after those lawmakers were assassinated. Well, there was an attempted murder and an assassination in Wisconsin. And so I just didn't put it together, but I think I should have spent some time on the city of Ypsilanti or the YPD website, because I feel like when I've looked around the city site before, you actually do have, there are like some photographs of like some of the vehicles and some of the folks in the department. I don't know. I don't think it's a terrible idea. And I'd be interested to talk about it with the chief of police, obviously, to understand. I could think of some reasons that a police department would be reluctant to say, like, this is what every vehicle looks like, this is what every uniform looks like, things like that.
Undercover agent.
Yeah. Well, and that part feels a little bit different. And I think, like, you know, identifying what the uniform looks like and what the marked vehicles look like feels reasonable. I also think on the flip side, the tragedy that occurred a few weeks ago was very, very targeted. And so I guess I think that as it doesn't really relate to the general public in a meaningful way. I can understand wanting to have a feeling of safety and security. Sometimes having more information helps you feel that way. So those are sort of my thoughts about Mr. Hall's comments, which I appreciate. I also just like that we got that somebody interacted with YPAC through email. And I hope that it happens more often. I don't know if either of you guys have anything around this.
No, but I mean, I do like the idea. Also, anytime anyone comes to your door and you can't definitely identify who they are, I mean, that's just. It's always err on the side of caution and don't open your door. There's always, if someone is coming to your door and they are legit, they'll give you information to call to verify who they are. Or if you do want to meet them at the police department, they're more than willing to meet you at the police department. So you should always err on the side of caution if it's undercover police officer or a DTE worker or anybody doing anything at your door. It's just the season that we live in right now.
I know that Commissioner Wolkoff reached out to this gentleman, after he emailed us. I don't know if she's heard back yet, and obviously she's not in the room today, but we'll follow up with her, next month and kind of see if she heard back and what kind of conversation they had. Thoughts, sir?
Thank you. So. Part of my thinking is, has to do with communication, who communicates what to the public? Is that our, is that on our plate to, when something happens like that, like the Wisconsin situation, is it up to us as a advisory commission to say to the community, well, this kind of thing happening out here, and we want to give you an opportunity to think about what you might want to do in terms of not opening the doors, calling, that kind of thing. So are we going to get into that kind of a thing? That would be my concern.
I personally, and this is just my thought, like, I don't know that why Pat should be in the business of giving sort of security advice to the community. I think that that's like either for individuals to determine what they need to do to keep themselves safe on their own, and if they need certain guidance in a certain circumstance, I would say that they should talk to police officers and not to, like, I'm just like, what do I read on it? Yes. That's my thought.
That's my.
I'm also aware that when there are things going on in our community, we do get, I'll call them public service announcements, either from YPD or Washtenaw County stating this is what's happening. Like current event things and, be cautious about it. I have seen those come across when there were things happening that we needed definitely to be made aware of.
Great. Yeah, to speak to that, like the incidents that happened recently, downtown with I think 2 or 3 local businesses that were broken into. Correspondence came out on social media and many other places, letting the public know what happened and what's going on now, and if they should be concerned, I don't know about big financial. So yes, information does come down the pipeline for our residents and anybody else who is visiting or doing business in the city to be able to see. Also to the point of like officers or other unidentified people coming to your front door and you're not feeling comfortable. I don't absolutely err on the side of caution. Ask who it is. And we also live in an age of extreme technology. We all have some kind of form of video ring doorbell that you can see through and talk through. So if anybody's feeling uncomfortable with somebody who's at their door and they don't identify them, please use all the resources that you have at your fingertips to be able to be safe.
All right. I think that's it for public comment right now. Lieutenant Bliss, it's your show, sir.
Start with the arrest reports. There's an increase in aggravated assaults. Biggest one. Prior. Larcenies, we've saw an uptick in.
Okay.
Sealed weapons also is up 100%, but that's 1 to 2 from last year. OWIs are down from 3 to 4 to 3. Warrants were up. Or girl that. That's about it for the arrests. If you have further on that. The crime reports. Like I said, previous aggravated assaults were, the totals were 29 from 26. Oh, that's a non-aggravated, I'm sorry. Aggravated for 10 for the year prior. Burglaries, forced entries were up greatly, as you already know. Larcenies also have been on the uptick. Not as many arrests made as larcenies. Retail fraud was also up from 3 to 6. Weapons. 1 to 2. Juvenile complaints also up from 7 to 11. May to May last year. Year to date though, so beginning of the year, no final. Comparative, we are down on non-aggravated assaults from 120 to 101. We're up to on aggravated assaults from 30 to 32. Burglaries were up from 22 to 27. Larceny from autos are down from 52 to 40. Larceny in general is up 3 from 60 to 63. Motor vehicle theft is down from 27 to 21. We've also had an uptick in frauds, just in general. That details all of them at the scams. Retail fraud has gone up also. 14 to 22. Drug justice, it's gone up 29 from 20.
So I guess my question for you is like, is there anything that you or the other officers are noticing, just like, cause it seems like, okay,
Basically,
yeah,
the retail frauds are up, but this it happens every time when it starts to get summer. or
okay,
When the season changes. Sure that the economy and all that is sure. That's why larcenies are also on the spike. The B&Es. 6 of them were made by the same person.
Mhm.
We actually arrested him. He was released on a PR bond. Last night, we arrested him again. And he's being held at this point.
mhm,
But. Same guy, everybody's got video at this point, very much, so. Some of these are getting easier to. Tie together. But. I mean, the assaults. Some waves. Plus with the weather getting warmer, people are getting. Out more.
I have been unhappy in this heat.
I would agree. Anything else on the?
No, I see that we had, quite an uptick in. Animal complaints, is that due to probably people having their animals out in the heat and other people weren't too happy about it?
Correct. We don't go on a lot of the animal complaints because there's an ACO usually. So I don't have a whole lot of information on that, but it generates us because it's in the city. But if they help them patrol, we end up going on it. I haven't heard of too many that are actual dog bites. It's more big dogs in the car. It's
Right.
uh, Other than that, there's every once in a while a dog bite, but that's usually handled by ACO.
I was talking to a colleague on Monday and she said that, yeah, it was like first time ever she saw a dog in a like car in a parking lot with the windows up and called the cops.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Commissioner?
Is that the typical response? Is there anyone else that can be like,
I don't think you call 911, but I think you call the police.
you call the police?
Say, hey, this is going on.
So there's no.
I mean, some places have it, but I don't know that they've got the authority to break a window of someone's car.
So the Humane Society does get dispatched to
Okay,
some things. Their protocols change constantly,
okay.
so I don't know.
Right.
They're short staffed, kind of like everybody else.
Yeah.
But they do respond to some instances with animals. Like I said, if if they don't go, the ACO isn't there, we'll go,
Okay,
okay? Because we have 24-hour access to the Humane Society.
got
If something happens, we have to drop the dog off.
it. Okay,
Something.
okay. Got it. Great.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the lieutenant? I guess I know we don't have like the written update, but just,
I got
oh,
the last part of it is, there's one use of force incident under review,
okay,
one citizen complaint under review. No vehicle suits. We sent one person to mountain bike training. We sent a couple people to de-escalation training. There's 2 in crisis intervention training. Currently have 10 vacancies. 2 officers in field training. We hired 1 in May. Community engagement, we had go to the Park Ridge Youth Engagement. We did a reading at the Gypsy International, April through May. We did this 10 Tuesday. And there's an open house coming July 19th.
okay.
That's for fire and
Is that like a if you're interested in a career in one of these
This is just,
organizations, or just, hey, members of the community.
Just come out,
Okay.
we did hot dogs and hamburgers last year.
Okay.
And
It was so fun.
I love a hot tub.
And wait, I think of that same open house fire did, like they basically used the jaws of life on a car.
yep, there was a car
Okay.
out there.
Yeah.
They had their smokehouse, kids could shoot the fire hose and
Okay.
It was a good time.
They got more toys that kids can be around, and you
yes.
don't feel bad.
We are trying, we're trying, we used to do almost clutch a truck kind of thing.
Mhm.
We put this stuff out, they could try that song, we're trying to get back to that. It's just
Okay,
Yeah.
the numbers,
yeah, for sure. Okay, and that's, when did you say?
July 19th,
Okay,
11 to 3.
and is it? I assume you guys put it on together in
Yes.
one, where?
It'll be behind the fire department.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna be doing like tours of the police station.
Yeah. Awesome,
What time again? 11 to 3. 11 to 3, thank you.
thanks. Any other questions for the lieutenant? No. Putting it in your calendar right now.
Mhm.
Sounds fun. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank
And you're, I would say, release.
I appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so the next discussion item is resolution 2025-1007, which is a resolution to support the 30x30 initiative for advancing women in policing. So if you guys turn, it's like page 22 and 23. So the summary and background, and this was thanks to Commissioner Wolkoff, I know she sort of drove this one. Request for legislature for the purpose of urging the city council to affirm support for the 30x30 initiative and recommending that the Ypsilanti Police Department to adopt its principles, commit to its goals, and formally join as a participating agency. And to recognize the leadership of organizations such as Noble, and to encourage the Ypsilanti Police Department to collaborate with local, state, and national partners to foster an inclusive, effective, and community-centered police department. And then, I don't. But on page 23, we've got the resolution as written right now. Women are underrepresented in law enforcement. There's an initiative that by 2030 to have 30% of recruits in police training classes be female. Many law enforcement agencies have adopted or committed to the 30x30 initiative. And the objective with this resolution is to get it to city council so that they can support this initiative in the city of Ypsilanti. Any thoughts?
I like the initiative. Simply because it will move us closer to representing the demographics of Ypsilanti. At the last census, women, there were 51.3% were female
In the city.
in the city of
Okay.
Ypsilanti. And, right now, we only have 12% of the sworn officers on the force. So it's quite a large margin. I mean, I'm sure to get to 51.3% to just mimic the population in the city of Ypsi is a far stretch, but the closer we can get to that, would be more representative of the demographics here in the city.
I guess the big thing that I think about is like. There's probably a variety of reasons that women either aren't interested in or don't feel encouraged to or comfortable with the idea of saying, hey, I want to be a police recruit. And I think that even if you don't end up with 30%, if you start thinking about like the why, and trying to make changes around your department and the way you recruit and where you recruit to try to get, to Commissioner McCormick's point, just a more representative and diverse group to say like, yeah, I'm interested in being a police officer, because this isn't even having them on the force. This is just getting to 30% in like academy classes, right? And I think that it feels like the blocker there is some combination of, I don't think that they want me in the class, or I didn't know this was an option for me, or you know what I mean? Some combination of like lack of information and culture. And I'm not saying culture that's set by YPD, but just an idea of like, this is what it is to be a police officer. And, you know, I think that as we've had the chief here, there's been a decent amount of conversation about the different types of coursework that the YPD officers go through and the types of roles that are available. And so I do think that it's like a career path that ought to be open to anyone interested, and that part is probably trying to go and find those folks. I certainly don't have any issue supporting it as something to advance to city council.
I have a question. So. Is there any data on the number, like the offenses that occur? They say there's 1,000 offenses that occur in. Is there any kind of data that says that 51% or 30% of those that offended were male or female? You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure you could dig into it, because I'm sure we have gender information on every single person who like gets arrested.
I'm just curious as to what that would look like, you know, and how that would also dovetail upon the initiative. You know what I mean? Like,
Is it like it would be better to have like if men
well,
are
I'm just thinking,
the
99% of the
criminals
Offenders.
offenders
or
were male, then it would be, for me, it would be a very difficult kind of move to try to encourage more females to divorce. And I know that's being sexist to a certain degree. You know, it's like, well, I want to run in there. I haven't thought about that, but most of the criminals that have perpetrated whatever act
allegedly.
are, you know what I mean? I'm just curious as to how that balance.
That's an interesting take. I most recently got pulled over by a female cop, and I can tell you that I felt the same anxiety that I feel getting pulled over here.
Because
You're a cop.
You're a
Yeah,
cop.
I didn't really see gender at the moment. I don't know the answer, but it's an interesting thought.
Curious. But I go along with it.
Yeah,
I think,
okay.
I think we definitely should increase our picture so it looks more like what's going on.
And at the very least, like, have city council have a conversation about it, you know what I mean? Like, get it there into another group of people who have slightly better attended meetings and sort of see what folks have to say.
Yeah.
Right, any other thoughts, comments around this?
I think it was good.
Okay.
I know when the chief was here, we did talk about it. He did express that a lot of the marketing efforts were geared for this initiative. You know, that they looked at how they were marketing and who they were marketing to and where they were marketing. So they are starting to focus on things like that.
Oh, they're thinking about it
Right,
sort of proactively.
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
all right. So should we move, what do we need to do here, Lori?
Offer support.
Okay. Should we move to offer support?
Like,
Yes,
one-
we should.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Gail will be happy.
So Lori, with this, the agenda for the next council meeting has already been made.
Yes.
So this will be on the agenda for the following.
Correct, and I already had spoken to clerk about it, so that we could get it on, it'll be on the July 15th.
Okay.
Are we looking to be in attendance at the meeting? Or at least have a representative? No.
I think.
Is
I
that
assume Commissioner,
Walkoff?
yeah,
It's her initiative. She would be there to. Be there to support it
mhm.
and answer any questions about it, speak on it.
Ideally, obviously, I don't want to totally, I would be
Volunteer.
frustrated if I were volunteered for something while on an excused absence. But I think that I don't know, Lori, is it weird to ask you to follow up with
Exactly.
Commissioner Wolkoff?
No, it's not, I would do
Would you
that.
mind? Okay.
Can you state the question, though, so I know exactly what I'm following up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
the
Is she
city
attend?
council meeting that this will be discussed, does Commissioner Wolkoff want to attend and sort of represent YPAC's position?
Okay, I will.
And if not, one of us will.
At the very least, I mean, be a representative showing up via Zoom. You have to physically necessarily be.
Yeah.
But it is definitely on the agenda for the 15th.
Well, the agenda hasn't been made yet. But I had talked when I saw it and asked the clerk, because the agenda for July 1st has already been done, and that one's too late. And she said it would be for the July 15th if it was approved tonight, which it is. And so this was the second reading,
Yeah.
and so now it'll go on.
Did this come from you?
Yes.
This came from you or from?
Well,
Do I,
It's just that,
this is
Uh,
the one with the votes.
both of you would sign, and then Commissioner Hume would sign. And then that'll go with the other request to city council.
Okay.
No, no, no,
No.
no.
Whoever has to sign. He's something.
Mhm. Yeah.
Do I not get to sign at all?
You're not involved in this.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
just
can
the,
sign
it's just the two.
I feel power.
It wouldn't stick out so much if more people were here, but.
Okay, and now we've got time for more public comments, if anyone's on Zoom.
If anyone's on Zoom would like to speak, please hold your hand.
Okay. Any announcements from my fellow commissioners or liaison, or anybody?
I have some.
Yes.
I also was in attendance at, PeaceNet. And we had the opportunity to speak with people as we kind of worked the crowd. We passed out quite a few cards that had our contact information on it, so hopefully we'll start getting, some feedback from that. I thought it was organized very well, albeit so open. But it was a great day. It was a good time. Well run, well organized. Yeah, and I was happy to be a part of it and in attendance.
I do agree that it was a good time and that it felt like it was a little too spread out, like it didn't feel like everyone was together.
Right.
If you were a little bit away from the stage, you couldn't hear what anyone was saying up there. If you're on the other side, it's like a totally different event than what's happening. And so I think that part of it is obviously you can't know how many folks will attend, but yeah, it felt like maybe for next year, bring it in a little bit, might be good. And I think, yeah, certainly always opportunities to do better, but I was glad that it was an event that the community put on.
Also, over the past weekend, we celebrated Juneteenth right downtown Ypsilanti, which was well attended by a lot of people. And the show of support that we had from the police department and also Washington County Sheriff, it was wonderful. Fire department, it was wonderful. They were there. There were a few incidents with people overheating because it was 2,000 degrees. And all you had to do was look up and they could grab an officer or a fireman and they were right there. So that was, it was good to see it attended well by our, law enforcement and safety officers.
Any other announcements?
Well, not an announcement, but I have a question
Okay.
regarding the Black Lives Matter and the website that
Yes.
that's come up. Who monitors that, and do we offer suggestions or thoughts on this website?
Well, Black Lives Matter is a huge national organization.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, what the whole, I'm looking specifically at the defund the police. I don't know if that's where we are.
I haven't seen.
You know what?
So on the Black Lives Matter organization's website, they have that on
Right.
On our website, it's not present. On our street, we have Black Lives Matter in Riverside.
So
Park
Riverside,
driveway, we have Black Lives Matter written on the pavement.
Right.
The organization's website reflects that.
Okay.
It's not, their website is tied to us.
That's besides outside of us.
Yes, outside of us.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know. Huh. Okay, I'm good.
anyone else? Sarah?
Yeah, so tomorrow, at Prospect Park from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. It's gonna be like a ball in the park for the kids. So if you get anybody out there having any kids that enjoy basketball, anybody wants to go out and watch kids, be kids and have fun. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. right there at Prospect Park. I want to make everybody aware of July the 12th at, if I'm not mistaken, that's noon to 3 p.m. in Park Ridge Park. There is the Park Ridge Park cleanup. Unfortunately, I will not be there because I have a convention to be at, but I'm encouraging everyone to come out there to Park Ridge Park to help clean up the park. It's a great thing. It's done every year, put on by Supreme Felons. It's a great thing, great attendance. Going a couple of months ahead, Park Ridge Summerfest is the 23rd of August. So want to make sure that's on everybody's calendar to attend. Joe Doolin Day, same thing. And then following that, that's a Saturday. Following that on Sunday, the annual Southside softball game will be hosted. It was coming back and it's hosted right there in Park Ridge Park at the the softball diamond. I'm a co-host, so I would love to see everybody come out there, play some softball. We're looking for 12 players for each team, so 24 players in total and 2 coaches. If anybody is trying to play, get in contact with me. I'll put you on a spreadsheet and we'll get you out there. What else? My mind is drawing blank, so all in all, that's it.
That's a good social calendar. Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you.
absolutely.
All right. That's everything. Commissioner McCormick, would you like to do the honors?
I make the motion that we adjourn the meeting for June 26th, 2025 of the Wildlife Commission.
I second that.
All in favor?
I.
Aye.
Like city council meetings.
It's a city council meeting, we go to 1 o'clock.
Next month. Get a blast.